Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to go over a Kubota L2501hst, which means hydrostatic. You can get this model also in a gear drive, but I picked the hydrostatic today. I give you a little bit of stats on it, things like that. So being an L2501, that is your Kubota 3-cylinder diesel. The normals, it's got 24.8 gross horsepower, not net but gross. So PTO power on this one's right about 19. If you got a gear drive on one of these, it does up the PTO gross horsepower to 20.5. Just give you a little bit of rundown. The hydrostatic, the gallons per minute on the pump on this one, on the main pump, is about 5.1 gallons a minute. It's a 3-range hydrostatic transmission. If you get a gear drive, you're looking at 8 gears, 4 reverse. And this one has an LA525 loader on it with a 66-inch bucket, which is really nice, and it's got a lift capacity of about 1,100 pounds. One thing you're going to notice on this bucket on this tractor, there's holes already in it, which makes it nice if you're going to add a bar, tooth bar, cutting bar, anything to the front of this. The holes are kind of there already, so it really does make that nice. One thing also that you're going to see is on the back side of this, these are skid steer attach. These are actual skid steer attached, so any skid steer mount will work with this. Not like some of the manufacturers out there, green, theirs are not skid steer attached. So theirs are their own brand, so you can only use their equipment for the front of their tractors. Just remember that. Going through this, one thing I want you to know, I do have the hood up on this because there's something very important I want you to see. Besides the battery, the overflow for the coolant, air filters up easy to get to, radiators here with a screen that you need to clean out basically every time you use the tractor. But one thing you're going to see, there's nothing on top of this motor. This model does sit below that 33 horsepower threshold. So it's not going to have any kind of DPF filter that you have to do a regen on. So that's something that a lot of folks tend to like now. So that is a really nice feature on these. So just kind of panning down to the side of the motor, you can kind of see it's got, your starter's easy to get to. It does have some side plating on it, give you a little bit of protection. Really nice thick axles. This model does have the ag tires on it, which are your best grip. You can also get an R14, which is a hybrid. You can get an industrial tire also. So strolling around here to the other side of the tractor, this side you can kind of see your oil filter is dead on. You can get to it real easy. The fuel bowl is right here. So that fuel bowl on this tractor is really nice if you have to change a fuel filter. So if you unscrew that out of there, there's a petcock basically in that line that automatically shuts the fuel off from coming out of the tractor. So you can unscrew that bowl, put a new filter on, put it back in, and you're good to go. So everything's easy to get to. Fuel filter's right there. You can kind of see down here on the side of the tractor, you can see your valve bank there, and you see a hydraulic filter. Another one that's easy to get to. These loaders on these are kind of a quick detach, not too bad. You're going to see right here you have a kickstand. You unpin that, basically it falls to the ground. That's what's going to hold your loader up. If you scroll back here, you'll see these pins on each side. Once you pull those pins and take them out, you use your loader valve, which is here, to work this out of this system. Once you get it clear, back the tractor up, unplug yourself from your tractor, and you're free from the loader at that point. The only thing that's going to stay on the tractor is this frame. Is going to be it. So if you didn't want to run a loader on it, you don't have to run a loader. You can set it aside. Most folks leave them on. It's up to you. The loader valve on this does have a float, which means it makes it really easy for back dragging. It gives no pressure when you're back dragging, so you're following the lay of the land instead of digging in. It does have a lock on that loader. That lock only locks this loader handle, so if you have anything in the bucket, it's not going to fall out. So that gives you a little indication there of what that does. So just while we're on this side of the tractor, you can see that your brake is on this side. You'll see me messing around back here trying to flip this up. You flip that up, and what that does, it splits the brake. So now you can brake the left side of the tractor or the right side. That means a lot when you're mowing fields and you want to make a quick spin around the other direction. That helps with that greatly. So that's one thing you're going to pick up in this tractor. The hydrostatic pedal, you can see, is more of a heel-toe pedal. I'll be honest with you, I can't set my big foot on there without it hurting my calf, so I kind of do it like a heel-toe shifter. I set my heel on the metal plate and one foot up to the forward, or my heel on the reverse. Makes it a lot easier for me. Kind of going back, you can see this is for raising and lowering your 3-point hitch. You can kind of see back there that yellow handle, that's your Pto Selector, which is really nice on these. This isn't in the way to where you're going to hit it with your foot, kick it on when you get off, and then you get back on the tractor, you can't start it. You're calling somebody and saying, hey, I can't get my tractor started, what's wrong with it? So that does help with that. Looking at the gauges of the tractor here, you do have a throttle here that's going to adjust your throttle to where you want to work your loader, your tiller, anything you may have on the tractor for speed. You're going to notice it does have glow plugs, regular start switch. All your headlight operations are down in that area with a hazard light. You're going to see down here parking brake. So you set the parking brake, push this down, pull this, and it'll set your parking brake. We're going to move around here. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. And we're going to move back to the 3-point hitch. You can tell the 3-point hitch is more of a turnbuckle style. Does have a rear PTO, top link. One thing I am going to show you is that top link has 2 more adjustments down below it. You can adjust it up or down depending on what you're doing, which is really nice feature. This is your drawbar. So if you're going to haul something behind you, you can adjust that to what you need. There are different sizes there. And one thing I want to show you that most folks may not tell you when you get a tractor or you do it. This plastic cover that's on that rear PTO, please keep that. Don't throw that away. That is more of a protection, more of a greasing item for that rear PTO. So what you do every time you grease the tractor, take that plastic cap off, load it full of the grease that you pump in your grease fittings, put it back on. It keeps that PTO greased and it keeps it from rusting. So that's a really nice thing. This does have the roll bar, the ROPS, rollover protection. It does have your rear slow moving sign, and it does come with a little toolbox. So if you opted on this model to get a Backhoe, which is a BH77, which is a little over a 7-foot reach, a 16-inch bucket, it's going to do away with where that toolbox is mounted. It's going to mount it to the left on the roll bar, and you're going to get a seat that basically faces backwards on this, which is really cool. Scrolling to the other side, you're going to see that all hydrostat models will say HST on them. All models that are DT, which is gear drive, is going to say four-wheel drive right there. These tractor tires, you can flip them to make them wider or more narrow. These are set in narrow, so you can make them wider, which is a nice feature, especially if you have a lot of hilly ground. Over here is your clutch. It is a hydrostat, but that is a clutch, so if you're coming near something with a brush hog, anything on the back, you want to stop that PTO from running, you can push that in and it'll stop. So underneath the seat, you do have that 3-point restriction valve that basically you let all the pressure out of that, and it's going to let that 3-point hitch fall straight to the ground. So it's going to be a lot easier to back drag, free float, things like that. This T lever right here that you see, the lever, I'm sorry, I can't talk today obviously. When you pull that up, that engages the four-wheel drive. One thing you're going to see here is that is your gears for low, neutral, medium, neutral, and high. Lower the gear, the more you're going to be able to lift, the more you're going to be able to do. Off to this side, this is if you got cruise control on it, you can do cruise. So moving on to the dash on this side, I kind of showed you from the other side, but I wanted you to see it a little bit better. The hazard lights are here, headlight operations are there. On your gauge cluster, you're going to see your fuel tank, you're going to see your hot and cold on the right, and in the center you're going to see your RPMs. Kubota is really nice that they mark this at the 2000 RPM mark for your PTO 1 to 540, which is really nice that they do that for you. So the hood on these, I have the hood up right now, just so you can kind of see what it looked like. So the hood on these, when you go to raise them, there's a pull pin down at the bottom right. You pull it, the hood will lift up. But one thing you don't want to forget is that release handle and putting the grill forward. That is what's going to help you do that, so that your hood doesn't hit your grill on the way up, which tends to happen on some of these. Now, one thing you want to remember As far as implements on these, you can run a 5-foot brush hog, you can run a 5-foot finish mower, you can go up to a 58-inch tiller behind you in a forward or reverse tine, depending on what kind of soil that you have for your tiller. And if you want me to go more into a tiller on that, I will. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to. So kind of give you an idea, a little rundown today on an L2501 hydrostat. And you can get these in a gear drive or a hydrostat, but this one just happens to be the hydrostat model that I had sitting here, and just kind of wanted to go over it with you. Please like and subscribe, and thank you again for everybody that's watching and subscribing. I feel so blessed. Have a great day.